I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, a follow-up to the blog I did about a month ago on the cooling off period that the Ministry of Finance, the NDP, want to implement potentially next spring. And I had said at that time that, you know, I don't think it's a well thought out plan having a 7-day cooling off period similar to what they have in new construction. The sellers will be at a very big disadvantage there. And remember, I work both sides of the equation, as I said in that blog. I work both the buying side and the selling side. I'm more of a listing realtor, marketing specialist, but I probably sell 20, 25 homes a year working with buyers on the buying side. Well, that'll make my job a lot easier because now, rather than giving my clients an advantage and doing the due diligence on the way in before we get into the bidding war, so that we can write potentially subject free. Now, of course, a cooling off period would just level the playing field for all realtors. Now I don't have to do anything. Just go ahead, throw the offer out there, and if we get it, great, and then we'll spend the next 7 days reading all the docs, and if we don't like it and getting an inspection, we'll just walk away, which is crazy. So the Ministry of Finance now, because they're going to review all this next spring, have thrown out another one here. And you know, this one though, might have some legs to it. They want to get rid of, or at least look into, the blind bidding that we currently have when you're getting into a multiple offer situation, and they want to get rid of that, ban it. So in other words, there'll be some transparency there. You will know what the other parties are offering as far as price that you're competing against. So again, from the buying side, when I'm working with buyers, hey, this would be fantastic. Because, you know, I blogged about this a few times before, and, you know, there have been some abuses of the blind bidding in the past. I'm not saying that it's rampant or anything like that, but there have been cases where, you know, realtors have said it's you and 8 other offers, and it's turned out it's not 8 other offers. It's less than that. But of course, you know, when someone does win in a multiple offer situation where you've got you and 11 other parties offering, of course, the big question is, you know, I wonder if you get the property, I wonder what the second best offer was. How much money did I leave on the table? Now, when I'm on the listing side, I probably sell 15, 20, 25 homes a year in multiple offers where I'm receiving the offers. And of course, some of them might only be 2 or 3 offers, and then others, not so much now, but back in 2017, you know, I had properties where we would get over 20 offers on it. Crazy bidding wars. I did a blog earlier this year about that townhouse I sold downtown that was one of the craziest bidding wars I've had, where 2 buyers just dueled it out. They continued to revise their offer. Even though I put a stop on it, this will be the last go around, they just would not leave it alone. And I had to keep telling the other party that they've revised again. So you get those type of situations. But, you know, this, you know, might have some legs to it. It would certainly make my job a lot easier on the buying side, knowing exactly where we sit and you can bid and know where the other parties are. On the listing side, hey, it would probably make my job a lot easier on the listing side too. It's all there. But there is a lot of unknowns with this. I still can't figure out how exactly they would work this, you know, because, you know, again, as I said about in that cooling off period, people need to realize that price is not everything when you're in a multiple offer situation. I probably sell in a typical year at least 4, 5, 6 homes that I'm on the listing side. We get into a crazy multiple offer that I do not take the highest price. I take an offer below what the highest price was because that one had subjects. It was financing, inspection, reading all the documents if it's a condo with a 7, 8, 9, 10-day subject removal. Or it might be a high ratio deal. Gee, I had a multiple, every year I get one of these. In multiple offers, someone offers me an offer that has a subject to sale. You know, that might be something you might want to write in on a property that's been sitting on the market for 5 or 6 months, but not on a property that's in a bidding war. So price isn't the only thing. It's subjects, it's also closing dates, you know, what clauses you've got written into the contract. So I'm not sure how the blind bidding would work. You know, it might. Maybe they have a portal where you can look in real time where these are. I don't know, the increments of how you would bid up, because you maybe have to put a time limit on it. You've got 40 minutes to have your bids in, and you can revise them. in, I don't know, it would have to be something like $500 or $1,000 increments. It definitely can't be $1 increments. It would just go on forever. So a lot to look at. Also, too, you would probably have to disclose what the subjects are on this, if any, because if you're bidding just purely on price, I might have an offer, two offers that are subject free. They're dueling it out on price, along with another guy who's dueling it out, but he's loaded with all the subject clauses and 10-day subject removal. Well, he's not in the same league as the two guys that are bidding on it that are subject free. He could end up the winner here, and it depends on the value of the home. If it's a $700,000 condo, well, subject free is probably buying you $10,000 or $15,000 in purchase power. If it's a $2 million home, I just sold one earlier this spring in Mount Pleasant. We took an offer that was $26,000 below what the best offer was. But the best offer on this $2 million home was loaded with every subject, financing, and a 10-day subject removal. We're not going to take the chance. We're going to take the firm deal right now, and it was still sold. This home sold over $200,000 over asking price. It was actually about $230,000 over asking. I had another offer that was almost $250,000 over asking, but loaded with all the subjects. So that happens a lot. So I don't know how this would work. You would have to even the playing field. You would also have to disclose the other offers and how they're written. Are they subject free, or do they have subject clauses? And then, of course, dates play a part of it too. Some people are, the house might be vacant or the condo might be vacant, and the guy's asking for a 3-month closing, where the other offer has got a 3-week close. So those also have value to it in the closing dates. So a lot to work out with this review of blind bidding. But hey, this is far superior to the not well thought out cooling off period. We'll see what happens next spring with these. They're kind of just throwing darts at a dartboard right now with these ideas on blind bidding and cooling off periods. And they're going to consult, apparently, with the real estate boards and the council and other stakeholders in this. So we'll see what happens, and I'm probably going to reserve judgment on any of this stuff until next spring, because it's just speculation right now. But they would have, the blind bidding thing, what it would also eliminate for sure is, the buyer's remorse. And that's, the first thing that a realtor will tell me. Let's say I've got a nice house in Kitsilano, and we get 8 offers, and we're talking, let's say, offers of $100,000, $150,000, $175,000 over asking are being thrown out. The winning party that ends up getting the home, the first question the winning realtor is going to say is, how much money did we leave on the table? In other words, how much higher were we than the second best offer? And any good listing realtor will say the same thing I do. I always say the same thing. Hey, it was close. You leave it at that. You never disclose what the second best offer was. In some cases, and you'd be surprised, I've had, especially with condo sales, you might get 8 offers, and it's funny, the top 4 offers generally are fairly close. They're not that far apart sometimes. Matter of fact, I've had many a time where we might get 6 or 7 offers, and 2 or sometimes 3 are pretty much the exact same offer, because they said to me, what kind of closing dates do you want? I've given it to them. They're subject free, and the price has come in almost identical. So sometimes you will have them revise a second time. And when you do the revision, sometimes the best offer will revise, and the other 2 that you say, I'm giving you a chance to revise, will stand pat. So in other words, the best offer outbid himself, and that happens. You're not privy to that on the buying side, but as a listing realtor, he's the only one that's going to be privy to that, where those other offers stood. So eliminating blind bidding will get rid of that. You will know exactly where you stand. But the difficult part in putting this into place is going to be, how do you work out the other things? There's so much more than just price, dates, subjects, and all that stuff. But I'm more than happy to this isn't a bad idea. I tell you, it'll make my job both on the listing and the buying side a lot easier to navigate with your clients. It'll get rid of any type of buyer's remorse. You'll know exactly where you stand. But I'm not sure how it'll be implemented here. You'll have to have a time limit. maybe a portal that you go into in real time that you can see. It could be updated by the different realtors. Something like that might work. But again, I'm just not sure. You would have to reveal other things about those offers. Again, you'd have to know, maybe they could put I guess you'd have to put in there just beside each bid, SF or something. That's a subject-free offer. Or S beside these bids that means subjects. So at least that potential buyer would know that, hey, I'm competing against a subject-free offer here. So and I've got subjects, I'm gonna have to blow him really out of the water with the price. I'm gonna have to come up substantially. But I can't imagine tying this, which I think is not a bad idea. It could work. Depends on how they put it together. But how would you do this with a 7-day cooling off period? Ooh, man, now that would really be crazy. I don't think it can happen. It'll probably be something more in this lines, getting rid of blind bidding, because that would solve a lot of issues that people have here where they're not sure where they're at, how many offers the other realtor has got, and that kind of thing, and the buyer's remorse when you do win the house and what the second best offer was. But let's see where it goes. Reviewing the blind bidding, maybe not a bad idea, in my opinion. I'd be more than happy with it both on the buying and the listing side. Definitely make my job a lot easier on the buying side for sure. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.